All right, here we have a quick unboxing of first thoughts with a sample image of a foldable beauty dish. 24 inches, and as you can see while it's in this case, it's much more compact than a traditional softbox. So the unique thing about this is you can actually open it just from the top portion, pull the actual modifier out this way. I've only had it for a short period of time, but I find myself opening it the regular way. Now these are the contents that's in the bag, and this is just a speed ring that you can spin around. In a circular modifier, you actually don't need to ever spin it around, but it's still capable of doing that. It does feel a little cheap, but I've yet to find many grids in any manufacturer, high end or medium or whatnot, where it actually feels of quality. Diffuser, this feels a little kind of like a tarpish type of material, and this is the reflector. What I find myself doing with all my diffusion is I crinkle them up, and it helps make the light even softer. The unique thing about this set is it comes with a traditional looking reflector as well that you find in common beauty dishes. Now you have these two poles or rods here with screw, or kind of like a screws on the bottom here, and then you have the thumb screws that you see on the top. So to install it, all you have to do is look at the speed ring, and you're going to notice some screws here. Line them up as far as the two or the opposite ends, and then you want to just unscrew the existing screws and then place those small screws in place of those, and what's going to happen is they're going to protrude from the ring itself. And from that point, you grab these rods and you just hand twist them on, and it's that simple. So once you hand screw these in, all you have to do is get the reflector portion part, and then you go ahead and get those thumb screws and screw it right into the rods. So even with the screws, you can see that the speed ring still spins around. Now, once you tighten these rods in, all you do is get the thumb screws and you attach the reflector on top. This looks more like a traditional beauty dish reflector, but I leave it all on and it folds up just the same. So I leave that one on instead of the Velcro one. Now this is sort of a quick release system in itself, and it's kind of umbrella style-ish. I don't know if this is a new version of what's going on now, but I've seen it in a couple different modifiers. This is an off-brand one, and what I suggest is, see here, I'm doing it kind of wrong. I'm doing one at a time. Anytime you do stuff like this, you want to do one and then go to the opposite side and back and forth, like kind of like how you would take off or put on a tire on a car. And by doing this was a little difficult, and as you see in a little bit, that the rods were kind of crooked and everything, and that was causing this to flex really hard because the inside modifier, it kind of feels more like vinyl-ish, and by doing it this way, I'm stretching it really awkward. This is just me installing the fabric diffuser, which is kind of supposed to be like its reflector. I like the traditional reflector. I guess you can use this not as a reflector, but more as a extra level of diffusion. Use the Velcro and attach these on here. All right, so here's the diffusion layer. All you have to do is pretty much is put it on one side at a time. Some people do opposite as well. I just kind of spin it around and put it on there. Make sure you leave space for the grid. For me, for this particular modifier, I'm probably going to leave the grid on it all the time for what I want to use it for. And all you have to do, like I said, just leave space in the Velcro, spin it around, and keep it going. So here's the grid, and you can see the size of it. I don't know the exact measurements. This is my standard beauty dish right here. It's a hard beauty dish. It still has the same type of color inside. It's not silver. But as you can see, the reflector, not the reflector, I'm sorry. As you can see here, the grid is much tighter, which will give you a much more narrow beam of light. Keep in mind, with any type of grid, you will lose some light power. So this is just me putting the dish together the correct way, opposite ends. You can do it this way, or you can open the top up. Because I have the grid and the diffuser already on it, and I don't want to keep installing that every time and ripping that open, I'm doing it this way. I'm pushing pressure on the actual speed ring itself to help me flex those rods, and it helps out a lot. Now, I am putting it on concrete. I don't know if you want to do that. You might scratch yours up, but this is just what I'm doing. It is a little tight, and as it's supposed to be, but it's nowhere near as easy to put together as, say, the Parapop, but it is still a great lightweight option and a good size for a beauty dish, which is a 24 inch. Now, this is an off-brand. It has no name to it, but I've seen other modifiers that were similar that were different brands. They even made one that was a good 48 inches, and it was only like maybe a little over $100. It didn't have a grid option that I saw, but you might be able to find that size somewhere else for a different brand and hook all that stuff together. I thought about actually getting that over the Parapop, but the Parapop is so lightweight and it's so easy to put together that I felt like it was a good option to have this and the Parapop together for travel purposes or lightweight setups. All right, here's just a quick shoot I did with it, so give you some sample images and just to show you kind of how it renders. This is with the grid on it, the diffusion on it, but right now these are just for sample purposes only. Now, if this was helpful at all, please hit like and subscribe, or visit www.howtoandreviews.com. Till next time.